Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome to the latest Z2A podcast with myself, Mark, and Jules from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
And this is, as always, where we pick a letter and a topic and discuss how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and life. So what's the topic and letter?
Well, I'm going to give you the letter first, then the topic.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Just thought I'd say that. But yes, the letter is S, and the topic is self-love, or summer of self-love, really, is what we're going to chat about, because it's literally there, almost upon us, those lovely, long, summer, hazy days. We're hoping.
Yeah. The British summer is always that without fail, isn't it?
But it's a lovely time of year this month, June, because for lots of reasons, school, if you're in education or university, college, whatever, this academic year, the finish line is almost within touching distance. I don't know about you, but for me, I think this year has felt quite a long, hard year.
Yeah, lots of people have been saying about the long, dark winter and the rubbish weather and everything like that. And it seems, yeah, as you're saying, that has gone on forever, hasn't it?
It certainly did feel like it. But yeah, once you get to June, the promise of some nice long evenings or light evenings, that's the one thing that I massively look forward to. Once we hit the sort of spring time, and I enjoy watching everything coming back to life in nature, but the joy and the love of things like late nights and it's still being light and warm at 10:30 at night, it's just wonderful. So exciting.
Very joyful. And you mentioned about school holidays, especially if you're doing exams as well. This is going to be a summer to really enjoy because the exams are finished.
They will be, yes.
Yeah, and you can have a well-earned break, so that's really good.
Yeah.
For any families that have somebody that's doing an exam, so if you're a parent of a teenager or your brother or sister's doing them, they can relax a bit. You can relax with them, which is quite nice, isn't it?
And you may have a summer holiday booked now, wherever that might be. But that's something you'll be hugely looking forward to. So I do think June's a really exciting time of the year and with so much to look forward to. But one of the things that we are trying to get people to look at is how to look after yourself through the summer of self-love, and doing things for yourself that you love doing. So I just mentioned late nights, the lightness of it. So when you've got a beautiful evening, I think there's nothing nicer than going for a nice long walk. If you can get close to a river or if you're close to a seaside, I just find that walking and being able to see water and listening to it is so calming and is so good for your soul.
Yeah, by the seaside and having the beach as well. That is even better, isn't it?
If you can get there. But
definitely. Quite
often you can, you might have a river that goes through your town or city. You can go for a walk along there.
Yeah.
Tales of the riverbank.
Tales of the riverbank. Well, we're living in Northampton for many, many years. We couldn't have been any further from the sea, so we certainly had to make use of that. I was talking to a friend who's booking a week or so off in a few weeks' time and said they're looking forward to summer. And I said, what are you going to do? And they went, nothing. I went, what, really? You're going to do absolutely nothing? They said, well, I'm not strictly going to do nothing. I'm just going to sit in the garden, read some books. I'm going to go to the park. I'm going to go for a walk through the forest. I'm not going to do a lot. And I went, that is quite a lot, though, because you're doing what you want to do. And they went, well, I suppose I am really, aren't I? What I mean is I'm not going to do a lot of work. I'm not going to do a lot of stressful stuff. And I'm going to have some time to myself. Bingo, there you go. It's exactly what we're talking about. It doesn't have to be doing a skydive or a round-the-world trip. It could be something really, really simple.
And that's the thing, I think, because it's summer, the outdoor activities, you're able to do them. And there's so much that you can do. And we've just said about going for nice nature walks and hiking. I love hiking. But something else that's very special about being outdoors is going for a picnic.
Oh, yes. Make the food yourself as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, make some sandwiches and pop them into a little picnic case or something. That takes me back to my childhood, that does.
Beautiful.
Go for a drive in the country with a family, go for a long walk and then eat some really, really nice food and just sit down in a field or something like that, or underneath a tree in the shade. Oh, it's beautiful, that.
And you know, one of the things I used to like really doing is I had a tin teapot, and it was made of tin. But I would take a flask of hot water that had boiled milk in it, and then I'd put the tea bags in the teapot, and I'd make a pot of tea, and we'd have these little cups with the picnic, and it was just bliss. It was light blue, I can remember, and it was white on the inside. A proper tin teapot.
That's got to be better than going to an expensive coffee shop that's busy and noisy.
Yes.
Definitely.
And getting your rug out of the car.
Yeah. Actually, whilst I'm in that hazy, nostalgic moment, one of the things I always used to love in my school holidays was just going to the park with my mates and heading off down there, going tracking through the woods. You know, we used to put little arrows out so you could find each other, or climbing trees, and taking a football and just kicking a football around for ages. Yeah. No rules or anything like that, no organised games or anything. We would just have a kick about, and then we would sit down, we would chat, we would listen to maybe a little bit of music on some earphones or something like that, and listen to songs that we liked.
We'd have a cassette recorder.
Well, we did have a cassette recorder then. I didn't want to say that then, because there might be some young people listening going, what on earth's a cassette?
Yes.
Google what a cassette is and you'll find out. But yeah, it's just simplicity. And we are talking about the simple things in life there. I mentioned a minute ago, you don't have to do a skydiver around the world trip. However, if you do want to do one of those through the summer, go and do one.
Go and do it. But going on road trips, going to somewhere that you've never been before. And again, that doesn't mean to say that you've got to go from one end of the country to the other, but maybe just have a little look and pick somewhere through the summer months that you think, I've always wanted to go and have a little look at what that's like. Pack your picnic. And off you go. I used to love doing that when my kids were young. We just get up early, make the sandwiches, fill the car up with all sorts of stuff like that, get in the car and drive.
Yeah, that's something we do a lot when we drive around the country visiting various different schools. Now, we'll go to an area and people generally that live in an area for a certain amount of time will say, it's quite rubbish living here, there's nothing to do. And then we'll go to that area and say, oh, when we came here, we went to the local farm, we went to the local windmill, we went to the local tourist attraction, we went to the local river, we went to the local whatever, and it was fantastic. And somebody will say, yeah, I went there years ago on a school trip, or I've never been there, or whatever. Look at what's around you. We have a massive park right opposite where we lived in Northampton, and I would love going to that park and just walking through it because it was right on my doorstep. But then you talk to people that lived in the street and they say, oh, I'll never go over there. It's across the road. You can see it. So it is amazing what you can actually find within your local area. And going back to the making your own sandwich thing again, you don't have to spend loads of money. Obviously, you've got to buy the ingredients to make your sandwich, but it's a lot more cost effective than going to maybe a country park and spending lots of money on expensive food there. So you can do really simple, easy things.
Or what you could do, this is not something I've particularly indulged in. However, I know lots of people that do it and lots of people that thoroughly enjoy it. But you could actually go camping somewhere because that's proper being under the stars and at one with nature.
That is indeed a really great suggestion. And I know people, again, friends who love nothing more than doing that. We've even got some friends that do wild camping, just go off and camp in a field where there's no campsite.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
But something else, I mean, we talked about going for walks close to water because there is something magical about being around water, and it is so very good for your self-care, for your calming your mind and your sensations. But maybe, if you can, hire a canoe or something and go and do that.
Yeah,
We've done
paddleboarding as well.
Paddleboarding, that's huge now, but I remember doing that once for your birthday. I had all these different things planned for you, and one of them was we hired a canoe and we went along the River Nen, didn't we?
We did indeed, yeah. It was really windy. I remember
was very windy.
canoeing through this wind and going zigzagging across this river.
And that was in June, because your birthday's in June.
It was indeed.
I'm not sure that you were totally impressed with my idea of that one. I think you more preferred that escape room thing that we did, because that all became popular then, and that was something nice to do. But it was a difficult day, that canoeing.
Yeah.
But not every day will be difficult.
No,
but
it was easier coming back.
It was.
It was easier coming back with the wind behind us.
Yeah. But yeah, you can do that or visit a beach. So here's a little task for you guys, or something that you can do, is now that we're in the throes of summer, write a list down of things that you would like to do this summer. And it doesn't mean to say that you've got to manage to do all of them, but it's great to have an idea of thinking, right, we've got the longer days, we've got more time in the day to be able to go out and do things. So writing down a list of some of the things that you would like to do. I've done it, and I've loved just going off, sitting on the paddleboard with a book and just sitting and reading it.
Think of different places you could read a book.
Yeah.
In a tree, on a paddleboard.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, on a picnic bench.
Here's another thing that I would like to do, and we actually have got one here. So I'm going to put this on our list of what we're going to do this summer, is watch a movie outside. We did it once in Northampton at Delabry Park. Do you remember? We went and watched.
It's fantastic. We saw the Italian Job, didn't we?
In our Mini. Which was just amazing. But we took a little picnic along, didn't we? And we had a little blanket next to the Mini, and all sat outside on this huge screen and watched a film. So that could be something that you might think, oh, that would be so much fun. So that you could put that on your list. That's something I'm going to do, because there is an outdoor cinema here. So we're going to go to it this summer.
That's on the list. We've actually just written it on the list as we're talking, because she said, I'm going to put it on the list. It's on the list now. Yeah. That's also evoked another memory of something that we've done quite recently, was getting all the family together and playing rounders in the park.
Oh, yes.
And again, it was all ages. So it wasn't just the adults or the kids playing. It was everybody playing together. Yeah. And again, it was simple, and it involved the picnic that we've obviously already mentioned.
It's always about the food.
It's always about the food. But it's about catching up with friends, and it's about catching up with family. So maybe thinking of something. Now, we used to play rounders in the park as a kid, so that brought back some childhood memories. So think about, maybe if you're an adult, what could you do with your kids that you used to do yourself when you were a kid, and you could show them how much good fun it is. There's so many endless possibilities that you could add to that list.
Yeah, you mentioned about getting together with the family. We've got a lovely family gathering coming up very, very shortly in the next week. And I've got a feeling there will be a game of rounders that weekend. I'm really, really looking forward to it. But I just thought of something else. And we saw somebody doing this only in the last week, is that young girl, she had a lemonade stand. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
We walked out and we were like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen that for ages, where she'd made her own lemonade and she was selling it. And she must have been, 12, something like that? I don't know. It's very difficult to age people these days, but I just thought we were just blown away, because you don't see it very often. You could have a garage sale or something to sort out your stuff and think.
I think there were some cakes involved as well.
There was a bit of cake, wasn't there, as well? She'd made it all. It was just.
I know. I was going to say they didn't have any money on us.
I know. You could also have a go at making homemade ice cream.
Oh,
I remember doing that as a kid.
Yeah, you're saying about making food. It doesn't have to be food. You could make something creative, something arty, create a new piece of artwork maybe.
Go sketching. You used to go sketching.
Yeah, go sketching, go and sit in a field and draw something. Do you know what? I'm getting overstimulated with ideas now, because there were so many of them out there. Make some clothes.
How about planting a mini herb garden? I often used to do that.
Yeah, little herbs and spices. Wow. We grew some tomatoes once as well, didn't we? They seemed to take all summer to grow, and then we had 3 of them right at the end of the summer, and they tasted delicious.
Definitely for self-care and relaxation. I think watching the sunset somewhere really nice. It's beautiful. Or even just stargazing, maybe.
And perhaps one little challenge to do is to try and leave the technology out of this a little bit. So grab some photos, but at times we see people where maybe they go on holiday, or they go to the park, or they go out with a family, and they're just constantly taking photos and they lose the moment a little bit. And we've done it ourselves where we're trying to video and capture everything, and then you actually realise that you're looking at the device and you're not actually taking that moment in. So have a couple of minutes to take the photo and then just put the phone away, put the camera away, and spend moments just taking it in and thinking, wow, this is incredible. I'd really love to do this again. And you can bank that in your memory. Obviously, you've got the photos as well, haven't you? But it doesn't need to go straight onto social media either, does it?
No, it's about just being present in that moment and enjoying whatever it is that you can see, and taking in not just the sights, but think about the smells, because summer evokes all sorts of beautiful different smells. Think about what you can smell. Listen to the noise of summer, the birds, people having fun. You could sit in a park quite happily under a tree or a park bench and just watch and listen to people going by and what they're doing. That's such a real moment of being present in that time and letting your senses take on board what's going on.
Yeah, and sometimes listening to the silence is also good. If you're in a really remote place and there's very little that you can hear, it is amazing how much you can hear the silence. And that sounds completely contradictory, but it actually works. So give it a go.
Tell you what else to do, and I love doing this. Create yourself a summer playlist. I have playlists for all sorts of different things. If I want to go out for a run, if I want to motivate myself, if I want to relax. I have lots of different playlists, but maybe create yourself one specifically for the upcoming few months that'll help you to relax and just take that moment to be with yourself.
So our list has just got a bit longer. We hope your list is getting a bit longer. Maybe you want to rewind this one and think, okay, let me add some of those things back to my list as well. It doesn't have to be complicated. Make it simple. Make it less stressful than some of the stresses are that are in life. And just enjoy that moment. Enjoy the simplicity.
Absolutely. I'm off now.
You're off now to do some of those really, really cool things. Well, before you guys head off, head over to our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. You can find loads of tools and tips on there. You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. We have a YouTube channel, and you can also subscribe to our regular newsletter, which gives lots of tips as well. And if you want to reach out, we're on LinkedIn because we are
everywhere.
We are everywhere, doing all those really cool, nice, wonderful, relaxing things over the summer. So start planning that summer break now, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.